Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler very series videos I've been doing for a little while now. Go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, and folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I did just spend a little time trying to look up how to pronounce this item's name properly. So we'll see how well that goes. But anyway, folks, it's a super simple super simple format. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm gonna yammer on about for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I like to highlight super cool shirt. Super cool shirt am I wearing today? Well, folks, just so happens to be my Blue Beetle shirt, which is a pretty neat shirt. I like the shirt. I wish it wasn't in association with the not-so-great movie that recently came out. By the way, if you're one of those people who, if you happen to see the DC movie Blue Beetle, please don't judge the character off of that movie. I can promise you that at no point, at least as to my understanding, in the history of that character in the comics, does George Lopez make a fucking appearance and ruin everything because he's so bad at what he does. I don't like George Lopez very much. At least as a comedian. He might be a perfectly fine guy. It's not funny. I don't know why people keep giving him work. We figured out he wasn't funny after the George Lopez show. That's why we're like, all right, no more work for you, George. And then, I don't know, he must have been friends with the director or something for him to get, not only be in a major movie, but to be in there a lot. He's in there so much, and he's bad every single... He's not funny or good. I'm sorry, that's a hot take, I'm sure, but no. Sorry, George Lopez. Please retire. But anyway, I really love the character of Blue Beetle. I've been a fan of his since the early days of his comics. And the co-creator of the character is a guy named Keith Giffen, who at the time I'm doing this passed away just a few weeks ago at the age of 70. That was actually the reason why I got this shirt, because even though I do love Blue Beetle, it was more in support for him and his career. At some point, I am planning to do like kind of a little bit of a memorial special, kind of with sort of his work and what it's meant to me. Well, I don't know when I'm going to get to that, but I do plan to do it. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, we're heading back to, boom, Gyros Express in Villa Park, which, by the way, what with this being a local establishment, that means it's going to end up in my Sampler Platter Local Love playlist. That is a playlist for just local establishments. No chains, nothing, you know. I did put Portillo's in there because I was like, it's an Illinois thing. But so far from Gyro Express, I have reviewed a gyro, and I have reviewed a pizza puff. I am now reviewing something that I absolutely love and do not eat enough of. So, folks, what are we reviewing? It is very warm. We are reviewing, boom! It's this. What is this? It's a spinach pie, also known as Spanakopita. Right? Maybe, kinda. Spanakopita. That's how I made a little jingle. Spanakopita. It's this, man. I fucking love this, man. So here's the thing. I love Greek food. And as a kid, I was a big fan of spinach because I liked weird things as a kid. Kind of played out well into my adulthood. So at some point in my past, I think probably when I was like, maybe very early teens, tweenish area, me and my dad, we went to this place. They had gyros, they had all the standard, kind of fries, all that stuff. And I was like, what the fuck is a spinach pie? And I was like, I want to get that. And my dad was like, you sure? And I'm like, I want to give this a go. And from that day forward, folks, this wonderful thing had entered into my life, and I just love it so much. So it's been a little bit since I've been to Gyro Express. It's a really nice spot, but it's a little bit out of my way. And so I really just intended to go in there and get a gyro and maybe one side. When I saw the Spanakopita, I was like, ah! By the way, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing the fuck out of that. And if you're not familiar, a spinach pie, Spanakopita, it is feta cheese and spinach wrapped in phyllo pastry. That's what I'm about. So let's eat the hell out of this thing. Oh, it's so good. You can see, like, the pastry literally just flakes off. Spinach and feta cheese works way too well. And one time I went to this one place, got some breakfast, and they had a spinach and feta cheese omelet. It only put spinach in it. I'm one of those people where, like, I don't like to cause a fuss. So, like, I ate about a quarter of it before finally I was like, hi, I'm going to need this to be a different thing. Because, like, as much as I like spinach, and I do like spinach, just couldn't do that, like, without the feta. But spinach and feta, oh my god, it's so good. It's one of those things you don't really think about, like, okay, it's spinach and feta. You don't think about that as being like a decadent combination. In most instances, it's not. But in a spinach pie, oh my god, it is. And it's like, it's such a simple thing. There's spinach, there's feta. And then you have the pastry around it. As long as they get those things right, there's no reason for this thing to not be absolutely outstanding. This is so good. The spinach and the feta complement each other really well. Feta, for some people, might be a little bit too strong. Might have, I've talked with people who just don't like the taste of feta. I will say, in a Spanakopita, it is not as abrasive if you feel that it's abrasive, because it has the spinach kind of working with it. And if you're somebody who doesn't like spinach, again, it kind of works because, like, it's not, neither one is overwhelming the other. They're working to complement each other. You're still getting aspects of it through. You are still getting that nice spinach taste, still getting that nice feta taste. But that, with the pastry, it balances everything out. And it is just this wonderful, fresh, yet kind of decadent, and just, it's amazing. It's filled really well. Oh, man. I think part of the reason why the feta and the spinach work so well is because you've got, sort of a fresh sort of earthiness from the spinach. And then feta has such this striking taste that they sort of, the way they play together, man, it's really wonderful. I love a Spanakopita. It's fantastic. The pastry has to be able to flake away. I did, at least on one occasion, I got spinach pie from someplace. I forget where, it was years ago now. And the pastry was not good. And that ruined the whole damn experience. You want it to have that nice flakiness. And, like, it still manages, like, the pastry manages to still have, like, this nice strong flavor that, again, just works perfectly. It's a wonderful thing, man. So the thing is, like I said, I already know that I like a spinach pie. That's neither here nor there. Do I like Gyros Express spinach pie? Yes, fucking absolutely. Spinach pie is one of those interesting things because, like, I just got through reviewing a pizza puff from there. And I mentioned in that, pizza puffs you can get pretty much any Chicago-style eatery. It is something that a lot of those places are going to have, if not all, are going to have as, like, at least a side order that you can get. Spanakopita is not that. This is a thing that you have to get from a Greek place. You have to get it at, maybe a gyro shop or, again, something like that. And when you do, it is a thing of beauty. It is because, whereas with the pizza puff, it really is, it's a treat for the masses, it's for everybody. Spinach pie, it knows that it's a little bit more niche, it's a little bit more, but that's part of the appeal. It's a little bit more, arguably a little bit more high class. But I do really like it. 2 questions have to be asked, though. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Absolutely and absolutely. For me personally, I think if I was going to get a spinach pie, Gyro Express, at least for the areas near me, it's definitely one of the spots, if not the spot, that I would go for it. Not going to say that, there might not be other places available, but there's not too many that I can think of off the top of my head. So it's, limited options anyway, but then on top of that, they just do it right. This is, again, because I've had bad spinach pies before, this is exactly what I expect when I order a spinach pie. So, all around, Gyro Express is a fantastic spot. Whether it's the gyro, whether it's the pizza puff, whether it's the spinach pie. If I were going to rank them, by the way, I would do the gyro first, spinach pie, then pizza puff. And I think that that's perfectly fair because the pizza puff isn't a thing that they specialize in. It's kind of just a Chicago thing. Whereas gyros are obviously their jam, and then you got Spanakopita, which plays into their Greek restaurant, heritage. So, but all in all, man, this has been a great fucking day for lunch. If I'm recommending it to people, I mean, it's not going to be for everybody. Does help if you like spinach, does help if you like feta, even though, again, they are dialed back. They're not super, super heavy with those flavors, because, again, they're blending together. It's not going to be for everybody, but, man, if you have the opportunity, and it's from a proper spot, I would recommend trying it out at the very least, because, damn, it's good. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You go over there, have yourselves a truly Spanakopita rest of your life. Again, I'm probably butchering the fuck out of that. I tried, folks. I mean, not as hard as I could, but I do put in a little effort. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not as possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do all the time. You're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole, especially when you're over there and you're... At this point, it's just ice, and I'm just sucking up the flavored ice. But no, we are going to deal with situations in our life that are stressful, frustrating, etc. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. Maybe you've never had spinach pie. Maybe you're going to watch this review and maybe you're going to be like, I must try spinach pie now. But maybe you live in an area where you just don't have spinach pie accessibility. So then you're like, all right, then I'm going to travel and I will find the best spinach pie in all the land. Because apparently you're from medieval times, which makes this whole thing a lot more interesting in my head, to be fair. Because now there's like knights and stuff and like, maybe a bridge troll, Monty Python and the quest for the Spanakopita. I'm just saying, some of those guys are still alive. Let's get it done. I think that could work. Call me. Copyright. Or conversely, hey, you can always go over there and watch Monty Python and Quest for the Holy Grail. There's some good ones. I'm not the biggest Monty Python guy, but Quest for the Holy Grail is pretty damn good. You can't knock that. Bye.